Howdy, people. So it's time to show you the $1,000 and change shopping spree that I did upon graduating from my university. This is the DVDs. Next video is going to be the Blu-rays. Starting off with the films and singular stuff. I picked up the 2-disc collector's edition of Speed, even though the way DVD Compare.net and Amazon showed this, they said that this was like a 5-star collector's edition, so there was some kind of gray banner on the picture, but I checked the back of this to what DVD Compare.net said should be there, and everything is there, so yeah. But it's crazy how many editions of this movie exist just on DVD, mind you. There is a Blu-ray, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty much bare bones. Yeah. Now, this next one is something that I grabbed to get everything, as I mentioned in my last DVD and Blu-ray video. Platinum Edition DVD of the original Beauty and the Beast. Although, as I might have mentioned in that video, the extras that are exclusive to this aren't that great. So, you don't totally have to get this, but I just decided to get that, yeah. Now, this next one is a little bit of a random movie that my dad showed me years back, but I actually was rather impressed by it. Even though the premise seemed a little bland, it's Red Eye. Yeah, so if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I'm probably not a good person to explain it to you, but one thing that I will tell you if you haven't seen this film but are a fan of Survivor, Colby Donaldson makes a cameo in here. But here's the catch. I didn't recognize him, and my brother, who doesn't watch Survivor, did recognize him. What the hell, right? Right. Now, this next DVD is a DVD that I'm not going to get around to watching for a while, but I figured I might as well pick this up because this was the one thing out of this franchise that I was planning to get that I hadn't gotten. I got Turtles Forever. I know what you're thinking. That doesn't look like the DVD that I've seen in the shops. Well, if you live in the US, you're right. This isn't what's in the shops or online. But if you live in UK or Australia, you'll recognize this thing straight away, especially if you see this. Yeah, because the US release of this movie is cropped when it's actually supposed to be widescreen, and also it's edited down. This is the uncut version, although what's interesting is that this doesn't appear to have any special features either, which is a little disappointing. Goes to show just how much of a tough time the 2003 TMNT has had at home video release, because, like, all the DVD releases of that show are either out of print, have random episodes, or, you know, were good, but you can't really get them either. So it's just like, what the hell is going on with that show? Especially since they put out the entire 80s cartoon and the new cartoon out on DVD, and they were able to do that fine on, like, the first try, minus a tiny bit of a hiccup for the 80s show. But, yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Oh well, I've got all those episodes downloaded anyway, including all the shorts, so, yeah. Another bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I picked up, although I don't think I'm going to like this particular item. I got The Next Mutation, which is a live-action TV show that loosely continues what goes on in the first 3 live-action movies, even though it is more appropriate to call those live-action compared to the Disney live-action stuff, you know. So as I said, I don't think I'm going to particularly enjoy this, but I might as well experience it to get my thoughts on it, and this was pretty cheap. Heck, it was cheaper to get the complete series than it was to pick up the 2 individual volumes of this. And as of 2 weeks ago, the entire show is on here, but it's in 240, and for once, even I can't really discern what's going on in it. Yeah. But that's because there's a lot of motion going on in that show, and most things that I watch in 240, there's probably not that much motion. Getting away from fictional stuff and more into non-fiction stuff, I've got a documentary here that my dad showed me years ago that I actually found myself liking, and even though it's History Channel, if you watch this particular documentary, you'll probably think it's better than what they typically put out. Warrior Queen Boudicca. If you don't know what this is about the wife of a British, I guess, tribe ruler, which was done before the Romans seized control over what is mostly England and Wales. And, you know, she led an attempt to get rid of the legions, which obviously failed if you know any basic sign of history. And yes, I have seen the movie Boudicca, where Emily Blunt plays Boudicca's older daughter, I think it is, just because she's taller. Yeah. Not the greatest movie, but I don't know. Now, this is a documentary of a filmmaker that I've been gradually collecting his works of. This was the first lawn thing of his that I ended up watching, and I think is arguably what put him on the map, although I don't know too much about the order of when he released his stuff. I got Ken Burns' Civil War, and I wouldn't be too surprised if this is an older edition, because even though this says fully restored, he's actually restored this thing multiple times, so yeah, but I don't think there's that much difference between the special features, and really I'm just gonna watch the thing, you know? So I'm not worried about that. Another documentary that details a well-known war in American history, but is not done by Ken Burns, although given how long it is, you kind of almost think it is. I got The Revolution. Yeah. But unlike Ken Burns, this isn't all kinds of archival video or just zooming in on still photographs all the time with a whole bunch of talking heads. There's a little bit of talking heads in here, but the stuff that's between that is actually footage done by actors, which I was, kind of impressed by. And since Ken Burns didn't do anything about the Revolution, this, fulfills a hole in the big war that I know that America took place in, because you can't really do anything on the war on terror, and Ken Burns has done Civil War, World War II, Vietnam. Right. One more documentary that is not about American wars, it's Rome, Rise and Fall of an Empire. Basically, it takes some highlights from towards the end of when the Republic existed to a decent amount of stuff throughout the Empire. And like the Revolution documentary, they have actual actors reenacting these moments in there as best they can, and I think they actually do a decent job, although this understandably is a fairly episodic documentary, but it taught me a few things about Rome that I hadn't known before, so I don't call it that bad, and I'm pretty sure you can actually still view it on here. I just decided I wanted to own it, but depending on what edition of this documentary that you get, you might not totally like the packaging, because there's some people who will say that they really like packaging that does, this kind of a thing. I'm not the biggest fan of that. I honestly just prefer this kind of packaging, Oh, well, I'm on a complaint. Alright, I'm going to be able to go a little faster now. Now, I actually already own what I'm holding in my other hand, but I was gifted all but one thing in this, and when those things were purchased, the discs weren't in the greatest condition, so I decided that I wanted to buy all of that stuff again, so I had a guarantee of fresh discs, even though my Blu-ray player only screwed up in, like, maybe 3 or 4 instances, even though one of those instances I'm not picky about because it was just a flashback episode anyway. But I ended up getting again the complete series of MASH. So you've got the movie here, seasons 1 through 11, and then you have the Goodbye, Farewell, and Amen set, which has 2 discs of extras. Although, here's the interesting thing. They've repackaged all 11 seasons into keep cases, but this is still a box with fin packs when there's still just 3 discs, so you could have made it look like this. Minor quibble, I know, but yeah. But yeah, it's nice to have good proper discs of that show. Like, there's several things in my collection that I'm going to have to rebuy eventually because the discs aren't that great for a couple of episodes, or one part of one episode for my Angel Season 2 box set. Like, literally, it's just the first minute of one episode that I can't watch, but I have to rebuy the entire season. And it was new when I bought it, just in case you're wondering. Alright, now I'm going to be showing you a whole bunch of Scooby-Doo stuff. First up, I got Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, the complete 3rd season, but if you know your actual timeline of Scooby-Doo stuff, this 3rd season actually aired after a couple of other Scooby-Doo things that aired. I just find that really amusing. Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, the complete 1st season, although I know for a fact that at least one of the follow-up seasons to this is actually just a whole bunch of shorts compiled together on one DVD that don't really amount to much. So I don't think I'll be picking that up. Scooby-Doo and Dino, the complete series, and this is one of those Scooby-Doo products you gotta do a lot of research on. If I ever do a Scooby-Doo disambiguation video, I'll explain it to you there, because there's no way I'd be able to get it right on the fly. 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, along with The Curse of the 13 Ghosts, which completes the series. Now, I could have sworn that I read that this is one of those Scooby-Doo things that doesn't have all of the main group in it, because I know for a fact that there's a few Scooby-Doo things where it's just Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy, and then there's a couple of things where it's just Scooby, Shaggy, and Daphne. That's a little bit annoying. The new Scooby-Doo movies, the almost complete series. The episode that you're missing is the one that features the Addams Family, which I've already downloaded. I just love how they put almost there. But yeah, it'll be interesting to check out the ones that I never got to see when I was younger, because the only ones of those I ever saw were the 2 Batman and Robin ones, although get this. On the DVD and VHS individual releases of those episodes, they switch the order, so the first one you see was actually the second one aired. What's up with that? What's new, Scooby-Doo? 1st season. And currently the only Scooby-Doo movie I have, Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster. This is a reacquisition. I got Stargate SG1 seasons 2 and 3 because I didn't want in the boxes where it's, one keep case per disc. I'm okay with them in this packaging, although I'm hoping that I can get them all in this kind of packaging. We'll see. And then a lot of you are going to be going, yeah! When I show you this, I finally got Survivor Borneo. And there you go. That's it for the DVDs. See you next time for the Blu-rays, and that's probably going to be longer.